or when you get there. Scan the code or go the link provided here. See you there. Bye. Are you a student eager to thrive in the ever-evolving digital economy? Then this program is for you.
This is a unique opportunity designed specifically for you to succeed.
Join our 8-week youth development program workshop.
We have some
This
wonderful
workshop is all about equipping
here.
you with the right mindset, skills, and tools to flourish.
All right, thank you very much. We are so excited to have all of us here. And today we're having a very important series of training, which is going to last us for 8 weeks. And we also have a very good privilege of having our Public Affairs Officer who will be joining us in a moment. Reinventing yourself with right mindset, skills, and tools in a digital economy. The way this is programmed is to help particularly the youths, especially the students, to be able to think through about their future, particularly in a digital economy. Just days ago, we have a new model of OpenAI, ChatGPT Model 5. And if you know exactly what this could do, you'll be amazed what will happen in the next few years. So we are privileged to have our resource persons lined up, starting with Dr. Stephen Ambore. I'll be introducing him shortly. He'll be taking us for this week 1 on reinventing yourself and understanding the digital economy. But before we do introduce him, we will be having our Public Affairs Officer who will be giving us the opening remarks. So we plead with you to just give us 1 minute and this will be done. Please, let's remember to register all the participants as well as those who will be joining us to earn a certificate of participation. You need to have 80% attendance. And we're very strict on this, 80% attendance. So we encourage you to do so. Thank you very much. Julia, are you in? Yes, I can see you are in.
I'm here. I'm here finally.
Thank you very much. I have the singular opportunity of introducing the Public Affairs Officer, U.S. Consulate General Julia McKay, who will be giving a brief remark to open this important workshop. Over to you, Julia.
Thank you so much. It's such an honor to welcome you to the launch of the Youth Development Program Workshop. I think you know the title, but I will tell it to you anyway. Reinventing Yourself with the Right Mindset, Skills, and Tools in a Digital Economy. This initiative reflects the shared values and enduring partnership between the United States and Nigeria. And it's a partnership rooted in innovation, economic opportunity, and mutual respect. And as we're gathered here today, we recognize the immense potential of Nigeria's students. You represent the future of this nation and the future of our interconnected world. The digital economy is transforming how we live, how we work, and how we connect to each other. And it is imperative that young people like you are equipped with the skills, the tools, and mindset to thrive in this rapidly evolving landscape. This workshop is more than just a training program. It is a platform for empowerment. It's a space where you will learn to reinvent yourselves, to embrace lifelong learning, and to develop the digital and entrepreneurial skills necessary to succeed in today's global economy. This workshop is designed to be both practical and impactful. Over the next 8 weeks, you will explore topics ranging from personal branding and cybersecurity to future-proof skills and reinvention strategies. You can reinvent yourself. All of these are amazing skills that will help you in the future. So in this training program, you're going to get hands-on experience with US developed digital tools like Google Workspace, LinkedIn, and Microsoft platforms. You're going to build a digital portfolio that showcases your talents. You're going to explore strategies for personal and professional growth, and you're going to learn how to leverage technology to create opportunities for yourselves and your communities. So as Samuel Ayatayo has just told you, you're going to get a certificate, but you've got to complete 80% of the program so that we can recognize your dedication and your achievement. And so that's over 8 weeks. So we hope to see you every single time. But this program really isn't just about individual growth. It's also about fostering connections. And these connections are between Nigeria and the United States, between students and mentors, and between ideas and opportunities. You know, a lot of times people say, well, and I know this is true, it's not that there's not talent in Nigeria, it's a lack of opportunity. And this kind of program is helping bring those opportunities to you. And so by participating in this workshop, we hope that you will be inspired to join the community of innovators and change makers who are committed to building a brighter future for everyone. So as we kick off week 1 today, we are honored to have Dr. Stephen Ambore, one of our U.S. Exchange alumni and policy director at Africa Women's World Banking, leading today's session on reinventing yourself and understanding the digital economy. Dr. Ambore brings a wealth of experience and insight into the transformative power of the digital economy and the importance of cultivating a growth mindset. His guidance will help you understand the global trends shaping the digital landscape and ways you can position yourselves to thrive in this interconnected world. So I want to encourage you to actively participate in today's session and all of the 7 that follow. Please ask questions, share your ideas, embrace the opportunity to learn from experts and peers. Remember, this is not just about acquiring skills, it is about reinventing yourself, building resilience, and becoming a leader in the digital economy. So in closing, I want to thank Dr. Ambore and all the other facilitators who are going to be coming after him, as well as our amazing American Spaces team. The team does everything. We hope that you go into our physical American Spaces. If you're not in one now, we hope that you come back. We have 30 across Nigeria. And this team that we have is committed to making this program a success. So to all of you participants, I want you to know that the future is yours to shape. Let this workshop be the first step in your journey toward innovation, growth, and global impact. So thank you all for joining us for this program. Please do 80%, but really we want you to do 100%. And if for some reason you're not following us on social media, USinNigeria, please follow us there. I know you're already following American Spaces NG, but please follow us on social media to find out other opportunities. Thank you. It's been an honor.
Thank you very, very much. Can we put our hands together, everybody, for Julia? Thank you very much, man, for these powerful remarks. We're so inspired. Thank you very, very much. I will now be introducing Dr. Ambore. Dr. Ambore, are you there?
Yes,
Dr.
I am.
Okay. So Dr. Stephen is a policy director, Africa. He brings over 2 decades of experience in financial inclusion, digital financial services, policy and project management across public and private sector institutions. Before joining Women's World Banking, he served as technical lead for economic and financial inclusion in the office of the Vice President of Nigeria, where he played a key role in shaping national frameworks that drives inclusive growth. Prior to that, he held several leadership roles at the Central Bank of Nigeria, including head of financial inclusion and digital financial services. Stephen chaired the Digital Financial Working Group for the Alliance for Financial Inclusion, where he had the opportunity to influence financial inclusion and digital financial services policies in over 68 low and middle income countries. Stephen brings governance experience as a member of Presidential Committee on Economic and Financial Inclusion in Nigeria and a board member of a leading fintech firm. Stephen holds a PhD in cybersecurity from UK and where he researched usable security for mobile financial services. He also holds an MBA from Bangor University in the UK and advanced leadership qualifications financial inclusion from Fletcher Business School and Harvard Business School in the United States. He's a 2019 IVLP alum on a digital economy, transformative technology for social good. Please, can you please put your hands together and welcome Dr. Ambore. Over to you, Dr. Ambore, after which we're going to take questions. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Sam, and thank you very much for that introduction. I'm really very excited to be here. In all my work, one statistics that always pop up is the fact that 70% of Nigerian population is youth. So when I'm sitting here, I look at it as a very, very important privilege, not just sharing my experience and learning from everyone seated, but to make real impact. So I want to thank you and your team over there, Sam, for giving me this opportunity. Thank you very much. How much time do we have for this conversation? So that
You have about 30 minutes, 30 to, let's say 45 minutes.
Okay.
To do your presentation, and then we take questions. And the total package is 2 hours.
All right. Thank you very much. I need to now project my screen.
Okay, let me give you have co-host already.
Okay. Sharing. I don't think I'm able to share. If you can. Okay, yeah, I've seen it. My bad. Mm. Confirm that you can see my screen.
It's still coming. Not yet. Not yet. Not yet.
Hmm.
Not yet. Can you redo it?
Okay, because it's already projected here. Let me go back and redo it.
Share.
Mm-hmm. Zoom out. Okay. Mm. Open setting, privacy. Okay, I've given it a go again.
Okay,
Mhm.
not yet.
Okay. Settings. Just one moment. Let me quickly go to Zoom and check the setting. Could be something happening here.
Please be patient with us. Technology could be funny sometimes.
Um, Sam, how
Oh,
about me dropping it in the chat so you project
okay.
from me
Yes, you
without?
can. You can send it to me.
Okay. Apologies.
Either you
O-
send it to me or send it to Grace.
Okay. Let me quickly send to Grace then via email.
Grace, you can forward it to me.
So sends to Grace.
Okay, so you can start while I get that from Grace.
Okay.
Grace, waiting.
Okay. In the interest of time, I think I should just go ahead. By the time Grace is up with the slide. So apologies for all that. It's all the digital economy conversation that we're having. You cannot talk about digital economy without having conversations around disruption. I think this is unintended, but it's also part of the conversation.
That's
Uh,
true.
just to start again by saying I work with Women's World Banking. In my role with Women's World Banking, I oversee policy for Africa, like you rightly said, Sam. But what is very interesting about what we do about in Women's World Banking is facilitating financial inclusion for people that do not have access to finance. So basically, people need access to finance to be able to live to the fullness of their economic potential. It was a very, very big problem in Nigeria as early as 2017. One out of every three person does not have access to financial services. We have 774 local governments in Nigeria. 15% of the local governments do not have a financial service access point. Enter the digital economy and technology. Currently in Nigeria now, 64% of Nigerians have formal access to financial services. And in Women's World Banking, we've reached over 91 million women and over 40 million men. I'm saying this wouldn't have been possible without leveraging technology at scale. This is part of what we are talking about. I'll start my conversation with two quick stories. Unfortunately, because of the nature of the presentation, I can't interact with the participants. I would have loved to ask them a question because there's a very important conversation online about Nepo baby and Lapo baby. Sam, since you're the only one I can see on the screen, I don't know if you by chance stumble onto that conversation on social media, especially X.
You will excuse me for that one.
Yeah, so there's a very interesting conversation about Nepo baby and Lapo baby. Nepo, Nepo, Lapo, Lapo. Lapo is a microfinance bank in Nigeria. So Otedola, a very well-known Nigerian, um was going to write a book. So the book will be launched on 18th of August. And this book was essentially speaking from his perspective of success as a businessman. And when he shared it on Twitter, everywhere caught fire. So the general conversation from a section of Twitter is like, gentlemen, you don't have anything to tell us about being a successful businessman because yours was basically inherited. So you don't have anything to tell us on how to be, what we can learn from your life to be successful. So that's basically the conversation. So NEPO baby is an acronym for numerous, sorry, trying to check it out. Numerous and endless privileges and opportunity. So basically people that were born with a head start. Then LAPO is little access to privilege and opportunity. But interestingly, LAPO is a microfinance bank and they give loan. So when the conversation started, a lot of people came online, say they are a LAPO baby, their mother was selling Gary, she got LAPO loan. So they have more like a story. Their story is even better than Otedolas because they started from zero. They are LAPO baby and LEPO baby. So, okay, the screen is coming up. Thank you very much. Please just proceed. Proceed to the NEPO and LAPO slide. Aha, this is where we are. You know, so the conversation is still raging and it's out there. But the beautiful thing about the conversation is it's bringing out things about LAPO and it is bringing out things about being a successful entrepreneur. And I was with the MD LAPO last week. Their marketing department, when they saw the kind of interest this was generating and the kind of positive sentiment the organization was getting because of this story, they just latched on it and started driving a marketing campaign. Next slide, second story. So JAM has been in the news of recent. Not too long ago, I have a security man just last month that wrote JAM. He told us he was going to write JAM and he wrote JAM. On Monday, as I was driving out, I learned on radio that JAM this year was 100% CBT, meaning 100% online. There was no paper-based JAM. I was shocked. I couldn't wait to come back home. So I asked Eric, how did you survive? How did you write JAM? This one that JAM was online. He just smiled. You know why I asked him this question? Because I know where he came from. And I know that it's going to be a bit challenging for him to sit for an online JAM test. It's a different thing when you give him a paper-based test. But in his school, he never had the opportunity to use computer. He doesn't have a personal computer. He doesn't have anyone. The only thing he has is a feature phone. But here is Eric. The only option he had to write JAM was CBT. The result came out. The result was not too good. The question is, why didn't he get a good result? Is it because he didn't study hard or is it because of technology? Some lessons from these two conversations that I just shared. The first one on LAPO is the kind of environment, the kind of community that a digital space can create. You can imagine an Otedola having a conversation with a child of a Gary seller. What other platform can so freely bring that? Constructive, interesting conversation. Secondly, you can imagine the kind of social validation that the child of a Gary seller in Lagos will have because of someone he does not know, but that shared his own experience being an older child of a Gary seller that has been a LAPO child, but is now a very successful person. You can imagine the level of transparency in that sphere of communication. How dare you interrogate the transparency of someone that says, I want to share my journey? But it was a very open and transparent conversation. You can imagine the community that this has created around this conversation. You can imagine the monetary value for people that track followership, even on their webpage. But the sad part is with Eric, you can imagine technology inequality and the bias it brings for someone. Now, you don't know if you are testing for core knowledge of a subject or you are testing for technology. So it begins to bring the conversation in this age of today, in our educational system, what is core? Is it literacy and numeracy or literacy, numeracy, and technology? I know one thing for free. No numeracy, no literacy. But if you do not know technology, numeracy and literacy cannot do much for you. Ladies and gentlemen, this is where we are. This is where we'll find ourselves. I'll wrap up the story by telling you one personal story. I finished my university and I was going for my first employment. I got employed and I met the director of the unit I was going to work with. So he asked me a couple of questions. What can you do? So I started telling him all what I could do. I was fortunate to be, I had the best project award, programming award in my school when I was graduating. So you can imagine how I was feeling. I was going out and somebody was asking me what I could do. So I started telling him I could program in Pascal, I could program in COBOL, I could program in Fortran. I mean, a lot of people sitting in this room will be wondering what I'm saying because I'm sure they don't have anything to do with these programs. After I finished telling him all the programming languages I could do, this man looked at me. He said, young man, all these things you just said, none of them is relevant here. My goodness, my entire 5 years in the university, none of them was relevant in this space. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the nature of the evolving and dynamic nature of this very space that we're talking about. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide. Yeah, it is really very, no, before the slide before this. Thank you very much. It is really very strange to have a conversation. You know, I'm looking at the screen. The only thing I'm seeing my slide. I can't see human beings. So it's a very interesting way to make a presentation. I wish I could see people and interact with people, but nonetheless, I will try my best. So I gave this story so that we start from a very, very important place. While technology and digital economy is very, very important, I think it is always good to start from us. You can imagine my situation, a young graduate, buzzing. All my lecturers believe I would do well outside school. My colleague believe I could do well outside school. I actually have the credibility because of the work I've done in the past. And then someone looks at me in the face and tells me that everything that I've been telling him about for the past 15 minutes does not have single value here. How do I react? So let's have a conversation about fixed mindsets and growth mindsets. There was a research in the 70s by Dr. Carol Dweck, basically looking at these concepts about fixed mindsets and variable mindsets. I'll not go into the research, but I want us to focus on this. The concept of fixed mindsets is the concept of saying intelligence, for instance, talent, for instance, is innate and it's unchangeable. Up till today, there are people that think so. And the concept of a growth mindset is the concept that says ability can be developed. So fixed mindset and growth mindset is a conversation of failures and challenges and how you react to them. A fixed mindset hit failure and challenges and throw their hands up in the air. A growth mindset person encounters failure and challenges and rides on that storm and innovates and reinvent. I dare to say, Nigeria as a country, we are a growth mindset people. Otherwise, you cannot thrive here because we are faced with a lot on daily basis, but we show resilience and strive. Fixed mindset and growth mindset is a conversation around how do I handle feedback and criticism? Do I handle them as people do not want me, or do I use them as a tool for self-improvement? It's a conversation around how do I handle competition? Do I look at someone and want to be better, or look at someone and become envious? It's a very, very important conversation in this. So it's a general question around innovation. How do I become better? It's the general conversation around entrepreneurship. How do I turn ideas into scalable business? How do I look at these challenges, turn them into ideas that will lead to scalable business? It's about resilience. If I fall, is there anything I've learned from this falling? How can I pivot based on where I am? How can I, instead of looking at everyone as a competition, how can I build a collaborative mindset? How can I stop looking from my own perspective only and harness other people's perspective to give me a much more circumvent worldview? Next slide. We cannot talk about the digital economy without talking about mindsets. The reason is the digital economy is not a sequential economy. It's not, it's a very, very dynamic economy. It is not a static economy. So it is very important whenever we want to have a conversation around digital economy, we should, it's very important to have this mindset conversation. People often say that we're in fourth industrial revolution, referring to the advent of technology. And I say, I say in as many forums and as I find myself, that anybody that says that probably has not really reflected on the possibility of technology, because industrial revolution was in the context of replacing human effort through automation to facilitate more outputs. But where we are today, it's more than outputs, it's more than outcome. Technology changes interaction, it even changes health, it changes a lot of things, it changes perspective. So it's much more than that. Is in the class of discovery of fire, discovery of language, and what they've done to humanity. Technology is in that. So basically, the digital economy, it's best to look at it from that perspective. And for everyone, there is value, economic value in the digital economy. 300 billion plus to GDP by 2030. And for those in the room, you might be aware that the federal government is looking to grow the GDP of Nigeria to 1 trillion by 2030 from where we are currently. And I can say that for free, you cannot achieve that out of the digital economy. And currently, over 40 million Nigerians are currently outside the formal financial services bracket. So if you don't bring them in, how can you grow the economy? How can you facilitate lower inflation through monetary policy transmission? So apart from the fact that there is money, to be made generally as a country, there is opportunity for everyone to grow. Of course, I'm talking to the 70% of Nigerians represented in this call. And like I did say earlier, this is about disruption. It's about scale, it's about commoditization. I mean, everyone can leverage social media as a commodity. The number of people that make money through skit making, for instance, in Nigeria, through some YouTube channel, globally. It's amazing. It's an opportunity for breakthrough, and it's going to disintermediate a lot of middle men, in this economy. So it's a very interesting times that we are having, driven by digital economy. But first, what is digital economy? There are several classic definitions of digital economy, and because we are students, I want to take time to explain this. The first definition is from the European Commission. It describes digital economy as an economy that encompasses businesses that sell goods and services via the internet, and digital platforms that connect spare capacity and demand. Spare capacity and demand. So there's capacity on one side, there's demand on another side. You are leveraging technology to close the gap. Another definition is from the World Economic Forum. It describes the digital economy as a broad range of economic activities comprising all jobs in the digital sector, as well as digital occupation in non-digital sector. So this is the perspective of the World Economic Forum. In Nigeria, we have a digital economy strategy developed by the Digital Ministry of Communication, Innovation, and Digital Economy. I do mix the name of the ministry slightly. How did they define digital economy? They define digital economy as any aspect of the economy that is based on or driven by digital technology. However you look at it, from whichever perspective you're looking at it, you're looking at it, it's around leveraging digital to facilitate economic activity, providing a platform, talking about spare capacity for people that hitherto their reach is limited. I have a very live example. I support, I used to support the National Information Technology Development Agency. They have a national digital literacy program. One testimony we have is a woman in Suleja that because of digital literacy training through our internet, she can sell kuli kuli to Abuja. You can imagine how internet has expanded our markets. That is the way digital economy operates. We do a lot of online shopping in our house. 70, I don't do a lot of it, but my wife does. 70% of what my wife buys online, she does not know the people. She has never been to their shop. She probably does not know their location except if she's concerned about delivery tracking, but she buys things and she gets it. Ladies and gentlemen, that is digital economy. Look how it has expanded the options of how you can get what you can get. Look how it has expanded markets for people, and look at the opportunity it has presented to you and I. Next slide. Next slide. I thought a bit about the direction I'll go with this presentation. And I told myself, it's not going to be of too much benefit if I take my time talking about tools, the tools that are available in the digital economy and all. But I thought it would be very important if I look at this conversation from the viewpoint of you seated there, the opportunity in the digital economy, and how you really need to reinvent yourself to be a participant in the digital economy. The good thing about the digital economy is with a search, every tool you need and how to use them is available. So to reinvent yourself and participate in this digital economy, what do you need to do? Remember my story. Someone told me that all what I know, as far as here is concerned, it was useless, putting it mildly. So I had to junk, and true to it, after leaving school, I never used Pascal, I never used Fortran, I never used Bolang. But the thing is, I knew programming. So I had to start looking for programming languages that were relevant to what they're doing, and other part of IT that will add value to financial services. And I was somewhat successful. Our starting point when it comes to technology, I am almost certain that everyone seated in the room is a Nepo baby. But me and my generation, when it comes to the digital economy and technology, and probably Mr. Sam and Grace that is seated there, we are the Lapo babies. Why did I say so? I studied computer science. When I studied computer science, and that's the way it was in my university and almost all federal universities in Nigeria, there was hardly access to computers. So what did we do? We wrote lengthy computer programs on paper and debugged them on paper. And if we have the opportunity, 5 minutes, 2 minutes, you just quickly run it on that black screen to generate outputs. But how did I transit from that in university to coming to a workplace that I was told that my skill is not required to where I am by the grace of God that have done a lot in terms of technology in the digital economy? I basically talk to people, not just in Nigeria, in a lot of countries, about how to develop fintech strategy, this kind of conversation we're having, how to leverage digital economy. What did I do? So the first thing I did, and I believe it's something all of us can do, and if you have a growth mindset, you know you are never there. You know it's something you continuously do. One, self-evaluation. Self-evaluation. Technology and the digital economy can make you lose confidence if you look at what it offers you versus where you are coming from, especially in the university. Most courses in the university are not designed in a way the digital economy is going. So you might find yourself in a struggle that now that I've studied animal science and the world is saying data, how do I do this? First of all, encourage yourself. The fact that you are able to graduate from a university means you've been able to go, or secondary school or whatever trade that you've done. It means you are able to go through certain level of rigor. The only problem was what was available for you to learn. So it means from where you are, you can still learn. So the first thing is check your skills. First of all, where do you want to go to? It is a very important question about purpose because you'll be much more effective in your direction of purpose. So the first question is, where do I want to be? In this digital economy, what is relevant and what do I need to drop? And what do I need to learn to close that gap? If you successfully answer that question, then you go to the next one. The next one is slightly related to the first one. So you need to ask yourself, because the digital economy is so broad. Someone was telling me about a situation, and it is very common in Nigeria. So people go into business because the business is raining. So if somebody opens a poultry, everybody in that area start opening poultry. Why are you opening a poultry? Because poultry is raining. If somebody start doing skits, everybody starts doing skits. Why? Because skit is raining. It is very, very important in digital economy to define what your contribution is going to be. What is the legacy you want to leave? So if you define that, you are helping yourself do a better self-check and knowing what to do to close your gap. What is the next thing you need to do? You need to develop new skills. And we have a lot of platforms that are available to develop new skills. The Coursera's of this world, the Udemy of this world, you know it. There are a lot of places you can go to develop skills. And the good thing is, it is not going to cost you anything apart from data. And at the national level, there are agencies that offer trainings. Like I know the 3 MTT program, some of you will be aware of. And I know the US Embassy, like this gathering today, they will have 1 or 2 pointers to where you can get free training on certain areas that you want to develop. The fourth thing is network, 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 network. Most of the times, where you are coming from, the kind of educational journey you have in this part of the world, It teaches you to be a very intelligent child. But in the digital economy, burying your head down and working alone does not do you much good. You need to network, and it is very, very important. You need to meet people. You need to learn from people. You need to share your ideas to people. You need to have it's an entire huge community. From the Nepo and Lapo conversation, you never can tell the kind of network that will have formed even in that place. The last thing is you need to think critically about how do I make a living from this economy. It is fine to be on your path. It is fine to learn. It is fine to be focused on purpose. But the last thing is how do I make ends meet in this economy? What do I need to monetize? You need to understand that if you need to reinvent yourself in this space. Next slide. I can't see the slide.
That's the last slide.
No, it's not. But it's okay. I mean, it's
Let me
okay.
let me check
No, I
again.
can talk through the rest. I'm looking at time as well, Mr. Sam. How well am I doing with time?
That was actually the last slide here.
Okay, it's fine. So the next slide was basically around opportunity and call to action. Maybe there's something that truncated the slide. I'll just quickly read from here and then share with Grace. You know, it will not always be smooth sailing in the digital economy. There are challenges. There are infrastructural challenges, there are funding challenges, there are challenges, the fact that we are in a very, very rapidly evolving ecosystem. You learn something today, and by tomorrow, it is obsolete. I want us to consider all this as opportunities. You know, the same woman that sells kulikuli from Suleja to Abuja, I am very sure there are people in our vicinity that still look at market as a limitation, you know, but because of information, she's able to understand that there's a way to overcome this. And once you have a very good idea, there's almost certainly a funding available. I'm sure Sam and his team will share a lot of information around where to find funding to implement innovative ideas. Ladies and gentlemen, my call to action. It is not good that we'll come here and just discuss today and then leave. It is important we start doing something today. And I'll ask some question. What exactly is your purpose and what exactly is going to be your contribution in this digital economy? I will challenge each and everyone seated here that in this month of August, you develop one new skill. Secondly, take time and develop a LinkedIn profile and start expanding your network. Take interest in people that are doing certain things in the area that you desire to be. And I'll also challenge you this month to make 5 professional connections, people that are into different things in the digital economy, so that you learn from them. And I'll also challenge you, and for me, this is most important. That woman that sells Kuli Kuli online, it was her son that told her about how to expand this. I want to challenge you to talk to someone about this conversation we had and how they can also reinvent themselves in this economy. So I'll pause here. Thank you very much, Mr. Sam, and apologies for the glitches. It is digital economy, it is technology, it is disruption. We leverage that and make the best of it all the time. Thank you very much.
Can we put our hands together? Thank you, Stephen. Thank you very much for this presentation. I also would like to recognize about 19 people that are watching online on our YouTube channel. And we also have some people also who joined us on our Facebook page. Please tell them for the next 7 weeks, this is the first week, we'll be having wonderful moments like this. from what we have had, we've been introduced to what does it mean to reinvent yourself. I was also gone to the point of learning what digital economy is. And we are already in it. It's not something we're looking at in the future. It is right here. I want to thank Stephen for that beautiful presentation. I would like to begin to take questions now. We have about 35 minutes or so to take our questions. So please do raise your hands, virtual hand, and I will recognize you. And the director, please help us unmute so that you can actually ask your question. So can we have questions now? I will also be checking the chat to see whether we have any question. Can you hear me very well now? Somebody said your audio is very low.
Better now, sir.
It's better. Thank you very much. So can we take questions now? If you have questions, let's raise our virtual hand and let's begin. So we'll be starting with Abuja as usual. Abuja is hand up. Please, can you unmute yourself and ask your question?
Okay, good afternoon, everybody. Good afternoon, Mr. Stephen. Thank you for a wonderful presentation. My name is Azubike. My question is regarding the course you studied. You said you did, I want to believe you started in computer programming. But how did you transition into banking? Because I want to believe that the process you had to go through was a totally, very arduous process. So I want to know, how did you transition into that, and how did you take it to the next level and to get to where you are at the moment? Thank you.
Stephen, over to you.
Thank you very much. And transition is a very key word, So we did not have a lot of mentorship back then. Our focus was just basically do well, come out with a good grade, and get a good job. So what I did was, when I finished university, I applied for a job and then got into banking. Not immediately. After I finished university, I was like a startup. I was developing systems for a medical laboratory. Then I worked for a French company. I worked for a South African company before I landed in banking. And this is the interesting and ignorant parts. In coming into banking, I told myself that I'm a computer science graduate. I am coming here to work in technology. That's how I view it initially. And I continue to work in technology. And what you see immediately is that there's a lot of learning, even as a computer science graduate. Even within the computer science space, there's a lot of learning in the professional environments than in school. So the first reinvention was that I needed to learn what computer science meant in a business setting. And what you see immediately is, if you're interested in growth, you know that if you continue to call yourself a computer science man, you'll be limited in how you can grow. So I continue to learn in the IT space. I mean, I never had anything called quality assurance when I was in university. I never had anything called IT strategy and planning. There's just a lot in IT that I didn't know. So I was excited learning all this IT governance, jumping from one IT project management. It was building me. Then it was giving me an opportunity to interact with the business. The point of decision for me, I mean, I did banking. Even in the bank, I moved from technology to business. But the point of the conversation for me, and this is what I tell everyone, even if you are primarily an IT core, I know there are people that read some other courses here. Even if you are a chemistry core, one very important way to look at yourself as a problem solver. When you look at yourself as a problem solver, and then you find yourself in a space, So when you are called to solve a business problem, you are not telling yourself that you are solving the IT problem of that business. You are telling yourself that your IT perspective or your chemistry perspective or your accounting perspective will give you, a dimension on how to address that business. So for me, the skills that we have, our primary discipline from university helps us to become better problem solvers. If you look at yourself from that perspective, it is easier to reinvent. But if you tell yourself that I am an accountant and I am an accountant, it is going to be very difficult to reinvent. But if you look at yourself as a problem solver, then you'll be able to go across industries and solve very, very impactful problem. However, you have to define your contribution. And secondly, you don't have to be jumping from pillar to post because people are there. There are people possibly seated in this room that have certifications are good, but there are people seated in this room that have like 5 different certifications that go in 5 different directions. The problem is, why do you have all that? If you know the contribution you want to achieve, then it's going to be very easy for you to know your path. And when time for transition comes, you transition and opportunities will come for transition. But it's going to be easier for you to know that it's not all opportunities that are necessarily opportunities for you, but the one that align to your contribution. I don't know if I've answered your question. Thank you.
Duse, and then we go to Uyo, then Lekki, and then Maiduguri.
Go ahead. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sir from Mindo and America, USA. Thank you very much, sir, for this insightful and wonderful presentation you are giving us. I'm very sure a lot of us have gained a lot and will try and implement it into our academic journey. Thank you very much for that. My question here is, you talk about enrolling into free courses that are available online. So there are a lot of courses online, and some people may be overwhelmed with the courses, like which course is the right one to enroll in, and which course align with my future goals and aspirations. But unfortunately, sometimes you see a person enroll in one course, and after some time, you will see another course and you will enroll in it. So how can we find the specific course that align with our career? That's my question. Thank you very much for consideration.
Thank you very much, my brother from Duse. This is the beauty of digital economy. You're seated in Duse, and I'm seated here. I'm having a very beautiful conversation. And I know the wonderful things that are happening in Jigawa State generally around leveraging technology for the youth. So the youth in Jigawa, you are very, very fortunate in terms of what's happening with leveraging the digital economy. You've asked again a very important question, and it's a conversation we're all having. The question is, and there's an adage that said, if you don't know where you are going to, all road will lead you there. So I start with someone. He's an accountant. He has an MBA. He has a project management certification. He has he has a business analysis certification. He had like 4 other certifications. But the problem is, if you look at all the certification, you cannot make a connection on how they are going to go on a journey. So I start with him. I asked him a question that why all this qualification? You know what he told me? He said, in case this one does not work, this one will work. How can you plan your life like that? That in case this one does not work, this one will work. If that one, the guy had like 7 layers of redundancy in his backup plan, in his career backup plan. So why not channel all that into a path? I mean, there is nothing wrong with redundancy, but when it is too much. So for me, it is very important to know your purpose. It is very important to know your contribution. If you know that, it is easy for you to know which course you need at this moment. However, if you have spare capacity and time, then you can go and study other things. But in your mind, you know that this does not necessarily contribute to this journey. Of course, no knowledge is wasted, but that question about purpose and contribution is very, very important, you know. So we don't build our future plan based on fear. Redundancies are good, but don't build our future plans based on fear, because it's the same resources in terms of your time, in terms of money, that is available for you to either go forward or spread sideways. So you have to choose wisely. Thank you.
Okay. The next is we go to Uyo, then Maiduguri.
Good afternoon, everyone.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, everyone. Okay, please, my name is John David. I'm speaking from first. Please, my question is, for those of us that we want to acquire digital skills, and sometimes we find it very challenging in terms of getting funds. Please, I want to get if there is any advice for this fund.
Okay. Well, maybe this question is for Mr. Sam.
I will answer it.
Okay. So I'll just leave that for you at the appropriate time. You answer it. Again, let me just add to that, not just fun. If you know other opportunities, it doesn't have to be financial, that you can point them to. But I think, I don't know if you've looked at some programs that the federal government is doing, 3MTT and all that. And I know NIDA, they have a digital literacy platform. They have some of these things. I know corpers are benefiting from it. And when you interact with your peers, I'm sure you get one or two such opportunities, in addition to free ways that are available online. But I'm sure Sam will tell you what the US Embassy has and can point you to a few things. Thank you.
All right, thank you very much. What we have platforms like this. And if you look at my own backdrop, you see a lot of laptops. And the same we have replicated all over the country. We know that digital literacy is so important in this new economy, and that's why we're giving you access. So if you really need to learn, come to American Spaces. We have laptops, we have Starlinks that can give you fast internet connection, and you can take all your certification there. So please, that's a very, very, in terms of the very, very opportunity, but in terms of funding, we don't give funding for you to send you to a training school. But if you want to study in the US, that's another thing. Every Wednesday, we give opportunity to show you how you can do that and even get funding for your education in the US. And I know quite a number of you who are listening, or somebody you know, have received funding through American Spaces, especially Oka. I'm aware of Oka. Calabar, I'm also aware of Calabar. Thank you very much. Maiduguri, over to you. Maiduguri, then we go to Lekki.
Yes, go ahead, please.
Good afternoon, sir. Thank you. I am Dubanat Musafala. Thank you for this very wonderful, impactful, and energetic presentation. We really do appreciate. So my question here is that, what are the essential digital skills and economic and technological tools that is required for individual and business to remain competitive, especially in a rapidly, especially where there is in an economy where there is a rapidly evolving economy, that is in an area where there is are the required essential that people needs to remain competitive in order to make their area become more industrialization and rapidly growing.
Thank you very much, Muta Erwa. So nice to be able to connect to you in Meduguri, and very important questions that you've asked. You know, there are a lot of tools out there. The simple answer to the question you ask might just be your phone, you know, but the question is, what exactly do you need it for? Record keeping, communication to people in your business space, payments for goods and services. All what I'm saying, with your phone alone, you can do that. Capacity building, massive open online courses are available through Coursera and all that. So I would say interact more with your phone. You know, most of our times we spend looking at social media platform, but look at the utilities on your phone first. Start with that, you know, and how that can help your personal effectiveness and your small business effectiveness. Then we'll grow from there. I think a conversation we can have with Mr. Sam is maybe we can make a list of tools and how they can help us where we are, either as a small business owner or as someone that is looking to improve their personal effectiveness, or someone that needs to expand in certain area, so that we'll have like a table where we can choose from, you know. But my short answer is interact your phone properly. Let it add value to you in addition to, you know, going to social media, which is important. But in terms of what tool can help with what, I think I'll discuss with Mr. Sam so that we'll tabulate those and make available not just to you, to others as well that might find it helpful or interesting. And thanks for calling my presentation energetic. Thank you very much.
We were all energized.
Sir, this is nice for us.
All right.
Very energetic. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Then weeks 5 and 6, we're going to concentrate on some of those tools we're talking about.
Fantastic.
So I want you to look out for it. All right, let's go straight to the next person, which is Lekki. And then from Lekki, we go to Oshogbo to Yola.
Okay, thank you, sir, for the presentation. So my question is this: as young graduates or professionals and students, how can we not just benefit from the opportunities, but also contribute to solving the problems in our country using digital technology? Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much. The thing I can say is you can only contribute by contributing. And I'll tell you a personal story. Yes, I'll tell you a personal story. When I finished university, there's a period we call uni home. So between when you finish university and when you go to NYSC, I just told myself, I can't be waiting for NYSC. Let me go and do something. So I went somewhere. I knew computer in theory, but I did not know computer in practice. The only computer I knew was in school. So when I went there, I was thrown a challenge that almost made me to run away. Somebody looked at me and said, "You said you studied computer science?" I said, "Yes." He said, "Come and automate my medical laboratory." In my mind, I say, "How? From where? What will I touch?" But it was a challenge for me. What did I do? I had to start looking around for how can I automate laboratory processes. Then I started learning around creating tables and files. Then I stumbled across one big Microsoft Access book, how to build database. The long and short of it is from no knowledge to a full-blown automated medical laboratory system. When I was doing it, I was not doing it because I was going to I'll be getting paid, because nobody told me I'll be getting paid. When I was doing it, I was not confident that I didn't understand the magnitude because I didn't understand business. I didn't understand how it was going to improve the revenue or customer base of that particular business. But in the end, it happened. And before you know what was happening, I had solved a problem that was very, very big that has held the business back from growing. But how did I achieve that? I achieved that through embracing challenges as an opportunity to learn. If we look at this world from the viewpoint of the fact that challenges are an opportunity to learn and contribute, then in this digital economy, there's a lot of problems on that lucky axis that you can solve. A lot of problems. If you ask me, leaving university, to guess 1,000 problems, I'm probably not going to say laboratory because I never found myself there. So there's no straight answer to your question. The answer is in your worldview and is about this fixed mindset and growth mindset and how you reinvent yourself. So look at the world from a viewpoint that problem is an opportunity. How can I contribute? Spend your time because it was really, there was no night and there was no day for me. Spend your time, defer reward, and in the end, you come up with something unique. I wish there was someone that's gone through a fintech journey here to tell you, So yeah, for me, that's the way I view it in the context of this conversation that we're having in how to reinvent yourself and how to leverage some values in this digital economy. I don't know if that helps you, my sister.
Thank you very much, Stephen. Before we take Oshogbo, I would like to quickly acknowledge those who are watching live from our social media platforms. I could see quite a number of you here, from Aderonke to Promise, to Daniel, to Chino, to Chidi, to Luategbe, and so on. But one of them has this question. They say, which is more profitable, being multi-skilled or just majoring in one skill? I would like to take this along with the next question that is coming from Oshogbo. Oshogbo, over to you.
Good morning, sir. My name is Ide Akintunde, and the question I have is that for wikis that we want to code, can you give us websites that are free that teach coding skills?
Afternoon, sir. My name is Olutide. My question is, how can digital economy help Nigerians for financial goals?
Okay, go and sit down. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and I'm excited about the young men that asked a question. I mean, if we get this right, our digital economy is buzzing, and it will bring a lot of solutions for us all. Again, on the coding skill, Uncle Sam, please note it so that on week 7, like you said, we showcase all those schools. So, my friend, just be patient. Is one of the things that you hear from this program. I'll take again the last one before I take multi-skill versus one skill. So digital, how can this help the digital economy grow? And I started saying earlier, how does Nigeria, let me try and break it down. How does Nigerian government make money? Part of how they make money is through tax, through revenue. But before they do that, they must be able to identify people. How do we reduce crime? Identity is actually also a factor. So you know people, you know where they live, they know they are traceable. I went to Lagos last week. They now have traffic light that snap people's camera, but I think it only functions on Lagos State plate number. Identity is a very important thing. How can this digital economy, how can this digital help us improve as this digital economy help Nigeria? It can help in a lot of ways. By the time a lot more people have access to the digital economy, government will benefit from growing revenue from formalization of people that are now in the formal financial space. You as a business, you can easily send and receive payment. It means your market is expanding. So it's no more, you are selling your goods not only in Oshogbo. You can sell your good in Abuja because there's a means to identify me. There's a means for me to pay you, and then there's smooth delivery. That is already happening at scale in Nigeria. There is security. I mean, if something goes wrong, you can easily identify the source and quell it. So there's a lot of ways it can benefit us, but just wanted to put it that way so that you know that it helps us to improve and it helps us to quell bad things. Multi-skill versus single skill. Which one is important? There's no single answer to this question, but I'll give you a story. There was a mentor that I have that was working with someone. The person was a very, very good programmer before he left Nigeria and went to the US. So when this mentor of mine started a new job, 10 years later, that gentleman called him and told him he's interested in working with him. He was very excited because the gentleman was very, very intelligent, fantastic programmer. So he thought, I know this gentleman, let him come and work with me. So the man came from US to Nigeria and they had that interview, but he didn't get the job. The man that invited him was very, very disappointed. I asked him what happened. He told me that the reason why I was disappointed was that he expected that this man's skills will have evolved. But the same thing he was good at 10 years ago was the same thing he was still good at today. It's just that he went deeper. So he specialized. He was just doing one thing, one thing, one thing. So for 10 years, he was a good programmer. He was an excellent programmer, but he could not be better than programming. That is the danger of single skill. But the problem with the good thing about multiple skill is you can fit in a lot of places, but it might also impact specialization. It might impact your growth. The single skill person will grow in a particular skill set, and even in an employment space, you will grow to become the lead in that space. But a multi-skill person, you're just jumping from one place to the other. You know a lot, but you might not be able to grow as rapidly as that particular person, even though when it comes to managerial level, they're expected to have multi skills. So my answer is both have benefits and drawback. The question I'll ask you is, what is your purpose? What is your contribution? Let them guide if you're going to be a single skill person and a multiple skill person. And by the way, the example I gave about that skilled person, I'm not saying it in a bad way. Of course, there's an expectation that the person that called him had. That was the person's expectation, that you are single skill for a long time and you go, horizontally deep, not vertically, is a different conversation. But I just say that to let you know that for each, there are pros and there are cons, but know your purpose and know your contribution. Thank you.
Thank you very much. On your question on websites for coding, I've provided a link to one of collections on that area. So just go to linke.to/coding websites. Just go there, you'll see a lot of them there. You can start coding almost immediately. So let's go to Yola.
Hello, sir, Mr. Steven. Sorry, I just want to know, for some people that do not have technology strong background, like some people that were not really strong in technology, and they want to drive into technology-based careers, they have passion for that, but they do not have that knowledge. Like, what's that first step they will take? Like, what's that first move that will make them transition into that?
Thank you very much. Again, we'll go back to the same conversation. So this is assuming you don't want tech skills for wanting tech skills reason. You want tech skills because you need it for that your unique contribution. And we said it earlier, you basically have to access where you are. You have to identify which technology skills do you need and where can you get that. There are a lot of free resources. Start from there. And as you do that, I mean, from your network, you also get a lot of information on how to get that. But first of all, be sure that that is, you are not just doing it for doing sake. You are doing it because it is where you intend to contribute. And you need to put in the time. Whether you're a technology major or you're a greenhorn, you need to put in the time. You really need to put in the time. Is in putting the time that you learn and then you master, and then you're able to leverage that new skill you learn in that new path you want to go to. Thank you.
Much. Abuja, before we come to you one more time, I have here on our YouTube channel, there are quite a number of questions from Ken Hacks and AJE, but most of them, really dwelt on what government is doing on cybersecurity and how can we make cybersecurity a value driver rather than a cost. I want to tell you that we have a whole session on cybersecurity, because there's no way we can talk about digital economy without talking about cybersecurity. So please, if you can just hold on, we'll be able to deal precisely with issues relating to cybersecurity. Thank you very much. But by the way, Stephen, they said the teaching is superb and awesome. Thank you.
Thank
We
you
go
very
now
much.
to Abuja, American Center, Abuja.
Okay. Good day, sir. It's a privilege to be on this conversation. I really, really appreciate the time and the opportunity. And for our trainer, kudos for an energetic slide and presentation. I just have one contribution and a question. Now, for one to flow very, very effectively in the digital economy, most of the skills there are hands-on. What we are doing here today, I've seen the calendar. I don't know how you plan to give us hands-on experience on these skills. I studied computer science, and recently I'm currently running digital training for my close friend online, and I find it challenging because of some of the technological facilities. I do data analytics. I had an opportunity to train some guys in Kogi via Senator Natasha. I was a resource person there. So when I came back home, a lot of guys were calling me, how can we get these skills? How can we get these skills? And I decided to run a training throughout this month of August, 3 times in a week. And here am I, opportunity to be in this forum and also share ideas. I want to bring to the house the challenges I face as a result of these hands-on skills, because most of the people at the grassroots don't have access to the technological device to be able to acquire these skills. So what is your center doing with regards to this? Thank you, sir.
All right, let me answer the question. I don't know whether you were in when I spoke the last time. The US government, with several partners in Nigeria, have set up 30 American spaces, just like the one you are in there. And these American spaces are platforms for empowerment, for education, for engagement. And that's why we're doing what we're doing. If you look at my own backdrop, you will see quite a number of laptops. That's the same thing we have in all locations. And we have fast internet connections. And each of them can run programs independently and, of course, on this network. Now, through this particular workshop, that's why we've extended it to 8 weeks. We would like to bring some practical knowledge and then introduce you to some of the areas where you can have the hands-on. The onus is now left for you to take it from that point. If you come to any of the American spaces and say, look, I need help on this area, we'll be able to help you. There was a question on coding websites. We have some lists. We've shared that already. So when you ask, we'll be able to guide you properly. I hope that answers your question. And if you would like to volunteer in any of our spaces, discuss with the director in that location, and they will be able to have discussions with you. What we don't do is that we don't collect money from anybody. It's free of charge. Thank you very much. I hope that answers your question.
Very well, sir.
Thank you. We go to Sokoto and then American Corner in Abuja, and then we go to Kano and we wrap it up. We can't hear you.
My question is here. Yeah, my question here is actually I am not a but last year we had a program to NIGERIA where we train us on various market technologies. I personally blockchain development. So program is categorize the various groups where we develop a project idea and that's project. So we choosing to develop a blockchain based voting application. And we started working on how to make project idea into reality. And to do that, we went to Abuja and able to present or effectively compete on pitching ideation. We pitched the ideation. We received some funds of I think 270,000. But the problem here is, and where I wanted to ask about, is there any professional guidance, either from American Facebook or anywhere, maybe Nigeria or somewhere else, where we can gain a proper professional training on how to maybe continue our progress development of a project idea? Because we have started an idea where we even make a coding, some content development, due to lack of skills, because we are not specialized on a kind of this almost different field of studies, like me and medical field of studies. So, is there any professional guidance through which we can gain, through which will help us further our research, or maybe further progress the level we are presently now, and maybe a kind of financial assistance that we can also get through and make the education of project reality? Because we all know the type of voting system we have in Nigeria, it's showing African countries, whereby
okay. So in essence, you are asking for are there financial provisions or platforms where you can further what you have learned over time? I don't know whether Stephen, you want to talk before we had what we have.
So if you can help me narrate, because of the nature of his sound, I didn't hear what he said.
All he was saying was he has attended some sessions with NIDA, and they've taught them some things, but they would like to move forward with what they've learned. So he's now asking whether you have an idea of what and where they can do that, or financial support on how to grow whatever they have learned over there.
Because I don't know what they have learned, maybe it's a conversation I'll take with him offline. I'll just spare some minutes to talk to him after this, because I need to know what he has learned, what the constraints are, where he wants to take it to, so that we'll know who to point him to. But I didn't get I only heard that they did something with NIDA, but I didn't get the rest.
Thank you very much.
If you want, I can link him up to someone in NIDA to continue the conversation.
Okay. So let the person please reach out to speak to your director. That's which corner is that? Sokoto.
Hello. Hello, good afternoon, sir.
Okay, Sokoto.
Yes, sir.
So please
Please,
reach out to Daniel, and we'll be able to connect the person to the person who can help. But let me say this also generally. If you understood very well what Stephen was telling us, nobody can reinvent you. You are the one to reinvent yourself. All we are trying to do is to point you in the right directions where you have tools and resources and what you need to do with your mind. The mindset must change. If you have a growth mindset, just like he said, and not fixed, all this, what we are providing here at American Spaces, have you finished exploring them? All the opportunities here? And somebody was asking about MOOCs, massive online open courses. There are so many of them. And you can find the ones that are relevant to where you are going. There must be a focus. What contribution are you trying to make? That's what Stephen told us. If you don't have a focus, it's difficult to grow. Because where are you growing to? And most of our young people today are so much interested in just having certification for the sake of it. It's like you just jump into a bus traveling somewhere.
So please just hold on. Just hold on. The network is bad. You'll join back shortly.
Press.
Hello.
Tama, you're back.
Okay, sir.
Go ahead.
Okay. So the point we're saying here is, I don't know where I was when I was knocked out. Let's make sure we take advantage of what we have here. A lot is available here. I'm telling you this, don't wait for anyone to help you. Change your mindset, use the resources and tools that are available. Let me tell you something, the more of these tools and resources you have, the more opportunities you will have. But you have to define the contribution that you want to make in the society with all the problems that we have. That's what Stephen is saying to us. Stephen, I hope I didn't say less.
We are together, sir. We are singing the same song.
All right, let's go to American Space Abuja. Let's see what they have.
Good afternoon, everyone. First of all, I want to thank the presenter for a very wonderful and inspiring presentation. It's not just about digital skills, but also about how people can transform their lives. So for me, my question is basically about the journey from training and skills to transformation. So a lot of people attend a lot of training programs and gain skills, but that connection, the nexus between you've been trained, you are skilled, and now solving real societal problems. I think usually there is a gap in between that people really don't know how to untangle kind of and fix. Yeah, so you see the best minds, they don't know how to solve any problems. But the moment they leave the Nigerian space and go overseas, where they are able to do that connection for them, that okay, this is the talent you have, and this is the problem. So people are able to connect. How do we start that within Nigeria and not just encouraging people that after the skills they can run away? Thank you very much.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you very much, and very important question. How do we, move from training to skill to transformation? And absolutely right. I mean, across a lot of professions in Nigeria, there are people that are, well trained, and then once they leave here, they get the opportunity. It speaks to what we call opportunity over here. The truth is, we'll have to face it. There's a conversation about being entrepreneurial. There's a conversation about workplace readiness, and that is why it's important for the economy to grow. Once the economy grows, there are more and more opportunities for people that want to be in paid employment. Otherwise, the opportunities are limited. The other part is the entrepreneurial part, I mean, as a young person, is something you'll have to grapple with. People need support, even in entrepreneurial parts. So there's a part that it's you doing what you need to do. There's a part that you need opportunity. There's a part that you even need community support, And for me, there's always a divine hand because you're ready, you're hardworking, then the opportunity comes someday for you to contribute, So it's not a straightforward conversation, but I absolutely understand what you mean. But one thing I know is anyone, I mean, if you ask me now to look for someone that I want to work with, I'll look for someone that I know is skilled in doing one thing or the other. One thing I know is people that are looking to recruit are looking for people that will bring unique contribution. So I'll just say, be patient, just keep doing what you're doing. The opportunity will come. There are people out there looking for you. And that is why it's good to network, to share what you can do, to talk about your little contribution. Your contribution might not have to be in the area that you are targeting. I mean, let's learn to contribute in our community, in our places of worship. Let people see us and know what we can do. You never can tell how far that can go. So in the transformation journey, there is the part that you're doing and there's a hand that will pull you. So do all you need to do so that when times come to choose, you are the one that everybody likes a contributor. That's one thing I know. Everybody wants someone that can contribute something uniquely. I don't know if this helps you in any way. Thank you.
Okay. Do we have any other questions? I would like to suggest to you, I would like to suggest that going away from today's session, sit down and write exactly what you have gained, and then map out steps, actionable steps that you would like to take. And at the end of the day, you have a week. Try and begin something in those areas you have noted and look forward to the next session. A lot of things can change within these 8 weeks once you make up your mind. All of a sudden, I have 2 hands again. Okay, let's take the last 2, Kano, and then we go to American Center, Abuja, and then we'll wrap it finally. We call the American Spaces Program Specialist in Abuja, Dr. Daniel Olu to please wrap up for us. Can over to you.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Based on the personal experience he shared with us, that he was asked to for an automation in for an automation job. So my question is, how can this gap be bridged between the university education and the real experience at workplaces? Thank you.
Yeah, very important question. And it speaks to one of the reasons why we are gathering here. I don't know if is a suggestion for Sam and the American space team. If this effort can be tracked back to the university, I believe it's going to be much more valuable to people that are in their 300 level, people that are in their 400 level, even before they go to the real world. If they have an opportunity to interact with professionals that will open their eyes to certain things that will be there, so they'll be much more ready. So I'm saying we're on track. I'm just suggesting that if the American space is a very important one, if we can backtrack to the universities, I know there are a lot of partnership between universities and agencies that put labs in school, which is important, but labs and talking about experience in the real world and different paths available are two different things. I think American space can bridge those gaps. I think it's something I'm sure Sam and his team will consider doing in the future. Thank you.
Thank you very much. We already have partnerships. Most of our American spaces are actually located in universities. We have them here, Yola, Mina, Gombe, Jiga. There's so many of them from universities. So please, let's take this message and share with the world. That's your world, just as has been suggested. So let's have American Center Abuja, and then Daniel will come on board. Over to you.
Good afternoon, sir. My question, I'm Emmanuel. My question goes directly to Mr. Steele. Speaking on security and how the government have put traffic on the streets to snap the motorists like their plate number. I want to know, because security has become a major problem in this country. I want to know the tools in which he can advise, or maybe he's a platform on advice on the government on what tools they will use to identify individuals. Since other countries have done it, like in America, you can't commit crime in a place and live free. But even in the space of Abuja, you commit crime in the town, you get away with the way there's a lot of crimes. So I want to know the tools that he can suggest to the people or future Nigeria or the company in how to come.
Thank you very much. And I'll say this. The conversation around technology, and it is very important for us to know this, the conversation about technology is not a conversation about tool. It's a conversation about problem solving. See, technology in itself does not have any intrinsic value. The value in technology is in what it is able to do. So if the agency that is looking to address this does an analysis of what the problem is and what they need to address, there are people out there that will suggest to them technology solutions on how to achieve this. So this is not about which technology will do this, which technology will do this. The technology that is working in Lagos or in America, if it is brought and put in this place, there was one time, cats are afraid of rats. If cats see rats, they run away. So I saw something that marveled me. So someone had rat infestation in his house. You know what he did? He brought a cat and threw this cat in the middle of rats. This cat cried from night to morning. I was in the house. I couldn't sleep. The cat cried from night to morning. In his mind, once rats see cat, all of them will run. We couldn't wait for morning to save the cat from the bullying of the rats. So don't treat technology that way. Don't throw technology at problems. Understand the problems. Then we'll start discussing which technology is best to address this. And for us that are in this space, especially my tech brothers, I was hearing someone earlier, I didn't hear him well, but I had blockchain. You know, most of the times people talk about blockchain as if it's one magic wand that address everything. If you start addressing problem from the viewpoint of technology, you are almost assured to fail. What you want to ask is what is the problem and what technology will address it more. So don't carry blockchain where syringe will solve. So let's be clear about that, my brother. So technology can help, but technology in itself does not have value. Define the problem and let's look for alternative, various type of technology that can address it. Thank you very much. So if you are planning to chase rats in your house, don't put cat, eh?
Sincerely, that's a very funny one. The cat is shaking. By the way, I don't know what happened. That technology caught me in Lagos here, took a picture of my plate number, and I was asked to go and pay. I didn't know how it happened until I began to look out and I saw that particular technology. So it's working. The most important thing is to find the appropriate one. But what we want to achieve out of this workshop is for you to be the solution using tech. But you have to change your mindset. Thank you very much. I have the privilege now of inviting Dr. Olu to please wrap up the session. Over to you, sir.
Hello, Samuel. Thank you so much. Thank you, every of our participants across our network for American Spaces. Thank you all for participating. I hope you all are energized for today's session. It's been actually a very wonderful session. Are you feeling reinvented? Please, let's not forget all of the conversations we've actually had here today. Ensure that you keep it in mind and ensure that you take action towards every conversation we've had here today. But most especially, let us thank our presenter for today, Dr. Stevie Ambore. Well, thank you so much for being on our program. We're so excited to have you. Let's put our hands together for him. And thank you, Samuel, for a wonderful moderation. Let's clap for Samuel before he thinks that we don't like him. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it is important I also inform you, those of you that are currently in our space across our Network for American Spaces, please don't forget that you must have 80% attendance to get a certificate at the end of this workshop. Next week, to be more exciting, we'll be looking at thriving. We'll be looking at thriving in the modern world of work. Thriving in the modern world of work. It's going to be another exciting edition. Please ensure you keep a date with us. Same time at 1:30 p.m. And for those of you who are joining us for the first time, please, American Spaces is actually your to-go place for skill building. Ensure you attend other programs. Like on Thursday, we're going to have Speak with the Diplomat. It's a non-policy program that we do every last Thursday of every month. It's coming up. Please keep a date with us and be part of all of our programs. You can follow us via all our social media platforms, American Spaces Nigeria, both on Facebook, on YouTube, and on Instagram. Please, if you follow all of these pages, it will be easy for you to track all of our activities and be part of them. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It was a wonderful session for today, and we hope to see you again next week. Bye for now.
Bye-bye, everyone. Samuel.